Hi, everyone. This is Frank with Teachly University. And in my last lecture, I discussed the quantum leap strategy by Price Pritchett. And in that lecture, I discussed really how some of the few actions or decisions can help us achieve a quantum leap, where through less effort and strain and through simplifying our lives, we can achieve quantum leaps in our business, in our finances, in our careers, in our personal lives and relationships, in our health, or any other aspect of your life that you want to improve. That making just one small adjustment or decision can dramatically improve your life for the better. So, we're going to add on to that in this lecture today by discussing Living the 80/20 Way by Richard Koch, which I also discussed in my lecture on the quantum leap strategy, but we're going to go into that in more detail in this lecture today. So, in Living the 80/20 Way, it's understanding that the vast majority of our results come from a few decisions or behaviors and actions that help simplify our lives. Or, to quote the title of this lecture, an effortless existence. So what does that mean? An effortless existence. Well, what it means is that we're living in congruency, meaning that we're acting out based on our instincts and our desires, and our strengths and our passions. We're listening to our higher mental faculties. We are living life according to how we want to live it. We're not conforming to based on what we see in our reality, in our circumstances. Rather, we are creating our reality. And in our creating our reality, we cut through the fog to the essence of what matters most. And that the decisions that we make and the actions that we take comes with less strain, less frustration, or fear. That doesn't mean that we're never going to experience negative emotions such as fear. But we act out on these decisions, and it's almost like a muscle where when we keep acting out on our instincts, unafraid of making decisions, life becomes much more effortless because we're not trying to force an outcome. We are embodying the mental state which we all strive, which is to live an authentic life or to express ourselves authentically, as discussed by Abraham Maslow in his hierarchy of needs. The pinnacle of human existence, then, is to express ourselves authentically. In doing so, however, it requires that, as I said, we cut through the fog and that we focus on a few things that give us the most joy, the most results in our lives. So, to quote Richard Koch, he says, 80% of the results come from 20% of the causes. A few things are important, most are not. The 80/20 principle, that 80% of results flow from just 20% of the causes, is the one true principle of highly effective people. And this makes sense because highly effective people in finance and business, entrepreneurship, and academia, and the sciences and sports, etc., they focus on what matters most. And you think about Tom Brady, for example. Tom Brady, his entire way of life revolved around being the best quarterback in the NFL, being the best he could be in that position. And most of his decisions, his training, his diet, etc., revolved around that particular goal or way of life. And as a result, it paid off handsomely for him. So it's focusing on what matters most in any area of your life, whether it's in your career, with your family, with your relationships, your health. It's focusing on a few things that give you the most results. And that means getting rid of the complexity in your life or overthinking. We tend to overthink our decisions. And when we overthink, we tend to enter this mental state of indecisiveness, where when we become indecisive about what it is that we want to do, then we experience this internal resistance where we experience frustration, fear, burnout, self-doubt, etc. So then, to focus on the few actions that yield the most results is one of the most effective and clear ways of living an effortless existence, or to achieve that quantum leap where sometimes just making just that one small adjustment or just focusing on a few things dramatically transforms our life. It helps us make more money, improve our relationships, and achieve more with less time or effort. We have more time for ourselves. And this makes sense because when you think about how business operate, they operate by trying to be as efficient as possible. The most successful businesses operate this way. And the 80-20 rule is a great way to understand and observe complex systems in our economy, in businesses, in our culture, and social relationships, etc. So then the 80-20 principle, like the truth, can make you free. You can work less. At the same time, you can earn more and enjoy more. The only price is that you need to do some serious 80-20 thinking. Laziness is the road to progress, but only when it is allied to intelligent thought and high ambition. I love this quote from Richard Koch because he actually puts laziness in a positive light or in a positive connotation. Being lazy is not necessarily a bad thing per se in this case, because sometimes we have to step back from the problem or goal that we're trying to achieve and observe it through self-awareness or metacognition, where we think about how we're thinking and observe as to whether or not our results and our behaviors and our current strategy, whether or not it is working. And persistence could be a double-edged sword. You could be good at something, but not necessarily is what you're good at helping you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Sometimes a simpler solution is on the horizon, and that solution can give you that quantum leap and dramatically transform your life, whether it's in sales, in your business, in your relationships, in your health, and so on. So laziness isn't necessarily a bad thing. Staying busy all the time, increasing our volume of activity does not necessarily yield very good results. Because chances are many of the actions that we take or what we focus on is inconsequential to our ultimate aim. So it's embracing laziness in a positive way, where it helps us step back for a moment and really think about what matters most and following our intuition that is within us. So all the time we tell ourselves stories about ourselves. We have to. There is no objective truth. You might as well choose positive rather than negative stories. By doing so, you will increase the sum of human happiness, starting with yourself and radiating out to others. So there's a lot of noise out there, if you haven't noticed, and of course on social media, in the news, there's tons of books and blogs and all this content out there, podcasts, etc., that are designed to either distract us or fill us with so much information that it does very little to really help us. So ultimately then, if we are to simplify our lives and achieve more or less, it means starting to listen to our instincts and our higher selves. It was William Walker Atkinson who described an unseen force that helped guide him to whatever goal he was trying to achieve or strive for. And this unseen force can be named God, infinite intelligence, the universe, energy, whatever you want to call it. And it's a common theme that I've discovered in many books on personal development, personal growth, spirituality, and even in entrepreneurship, where sometimes when you move in a direction of where you want to go, things seem to line themselves up for you. There's synchronicity. Chance occurrences happen. New relationships come out of nowhere. New business deals, new opportunities, new experiences seem to occur when we embrace positive affirmations and positive suggestions about our lives and our outlook of the world around us. So truth can be objective. And there's a lot of noise out there, and we have the power to decide what to accept and what to reject. And that there's no just one way to do something. And that ultimately this journey starts within you, and to listen to your higher self, to meditate on this, to sit in silence, putting away our digital devices and listen to this voice that can help guide us to whatever it is that we want to achieve in an effortless sort of way, hence an effortless existence. So we can decide how to think. Contrary to what we hear on social media and conventional wisdom, we can decide and choose how to think. It's up to you. It's your life. You can choose how to live it, which I think is very empowering. So if we did realize the difference between the vital few and the trivial many in all aspects of our lives, and if we did something about it, we could multiply anything that we valued. As I said before, often many of the actions and things that we focus on are of little consequence. They don't really matter. But we focus on them because ultimately they serve as a distraction to what's really important and what really needs to get done. And sometimes doing what needs to get done, though simple, can be very difficult because it requires some effort. But the effort that we take or the action that we take, as I said before, if it comes from within, from instinct, from inspiration, and based on our passion and what we're good at, it doesn't have to feel like work. That's why the most successful people do things or in careers that it doesn't feel like work to them. Every day they wake up in the morning, they look forward to what they're doing because they enter these states of flow and they focus on a few things that matter most to them and live life the way they want to live it. So it's focusing on what matters. And when you focus on what matters and you simplify your life, you can actually expand yourself and get better results with less effort or strain, hence efficiency. So the road to hell is paved with a pursuit of volume. Volume leads to marginal products, marginal customers, and greatly increased managerial complexity. So increased action or volume doesn't necessarily, in the field of entrepreneurship, help you improve products or to help you develop products that actually matter, that consumers want. When you add more complexity, it can actually hurt your business, and especially add more complexity with your employees, with your culture, and the way you do business. So our current use of time is not rational. There is therefore no point in seeking marginal improvements in how we spend our time. We need to go back to the drawing board and overturn all of our assumptions about time. So one of the conventional wisdoms that we're told is that we have to work very long hours to burn the midnight oil, or we have to strain and struggle and spend a lot of time on what it is that we're trying to accomplish, whether it's in trying to start a business, improving our relationships, earn more money, improve our finances, our health, and so on. However, we have to really rethink what time or how we view time. Remember, we talked about flow. I've talked flow about often in my lectures, where we're in states of flow, time stands still, where we're so immersed in what we're doing that everything seems effortless, where challenge meets skill, we're thoroughly enjoying what we're doing, where hours seems like minutes. So to achieve anything, it doesn't necessarily require more time. Rather, it is the type of action that we take. We can do more in less time, especially today now, thanks to information technology and with digital devices. We can pretty much work from anywhere and get more done in less time. So it's not about time. Rather, it's simplicity in focusing on what matters and getting the most results with as little effort or action steps as possible. So it is not that we are short on time. It is the way that we treat time, even the way that we think about it. A time revolution is the fastest way to make a giant leap in both happiness and effectiveness. And what successful and wealthy people really value the most is not money per se, but rather time. It is being efficient with their time, focusing on what matters the most to you. And sadly, many of us waste a lot of time on trivial matters that don't lead us to where we want to go, that are of little consequence to improving our lives. So the road to happiness then is to simplify, to cut out. And it is okay to say no. If we are asked to do something that doesn't necessarily help us move us in the direction of where we want to go, if it doesn't help us achieve, or if it's of little consequence, it's okay to say no. Or if if you have too much on your plate, then saying no is a rational response. And this is one of the hallmarks of people pleasing, where we don't say no. Rather, we just accept whatever comes to us. We must be intentional with how we live. And that means deciding what relationships, what actions, what things that we do that matter the most to us. And then from that point, once we are living our true essence and we're living life the way we want to live, then we have the ability to help others. But it's focusing on what matters. And that can help us dramatically improve our time that we have for ourselves and to do the things that we want to do. So people think that creativity is largely a matter of talent, experience, or luck. They are wrong. Talent, experience, and luck are all key elements, but there is something more fundamental, accessible, and powerful that you can use to multiply your creative effort. I quoted William Walker Atkinson when he talked about an unseen force. We tend to rely solely on ourselves when it comes to trying to achieve something. But we, more often than not, neglect this unseen force, this intelligence that is all around us and within us, that is responsible for everything that we experience in our life in one way or the other, in the reality that we see with our senses. So it is believing then in the unseen, this intangible force, this intelligence that is there if you choose to use it, and impress upon it what it is that you would like. And that is the essence of the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. You impress upon this intelligence what it is that you desire. Impress upon the subconscious mind, this higher mind, what it is that you want, and allow this subconscious and allow this intelligence to help propel you towards that goal with less effort. And by accessing this power, we become aware of it and use our feelings. Again, we can't intellectualize this. We use our feelings to help communicate with it and achieve what it is that we want. It's living in the end, imagining that what we want is already in the present moment, and asking ourselves empowering questions. What would it feel like if I achieved this career? I achieved this certain amount of money or cash flow. I have this relationship or this health, or how this person or the people that I love and care for are living happier lives. It's using our imagination, not through force, but in a relaxed state where we use affirmation and suggestion, where we use the I am healthy, I am abundant, I am living my best life. And we want to make these affirmations simple, but yet these affirmations that are simple can be extremely powerful in helping us change our mental states and our beliefs about what we think of ourselves and the world around us. And as I said, we can decide how to think and what to believe. And it starts with what we choose to focus on. So then creation occurs when ideas and individuals collide and collude. So to create anything, then, it requires having positive relationships with others, whether you want to start a business, you want to get hired at a particular firm or job, or you want to improve your health, you want to travel, so on and so forth. You need to have relationships. We are social creatures. And by nature, we yearn for these social relationships. So in some of the actions or behaviors that you want to cultivate, it is cultivating the behavior that can bring you these relationships. And what you see in life and what you experience is mirrored on what you choose to think about. So through these affirmations, through our visualization of what we choose, where we choose to see ourselves, and by already living in the moment now as to the ideal state, these new relationships can come into your life that can transform it for the better and can add a sense of euphoria and joy and happiness. And some of the things that I really enjoy the most is collaborating with others and bouncing ideas off other people and getting that sort of validation. That's very exciting to me. And I think that's something that you should focus on as some of the few things that you want to do to improve your life. It's that collaboration, that when you collaborate with others, amazing things begin to happen. So there is no rush. If we think intelligently about what we can achieve with our time, we can be relaxed, even lazy. In fact, being lazy, having plenty of time to think, may actually be a precondition for achieving a great deal. So we want to spend every waking moment when we're not working, if we're not busy, to take the time to think, to relax, to meditate. Maybe we could sit in a chair or lay down on a couch in our bed and just relax and live in the end. And use our imagination as if we were children and imagine new horizons and new vistas, things that we never thought were even possible, and how we want to live our lives. And when we do this enough times, then instinctively, we will know what it is that we need to do to achieve what we want. And when we listen and we use feeling to help us make these decisions, then we can make the right decision or decisions that matter most. Making that one phone call, or sending that email, or making that one decision or action based on your instincts and what you feel is best can help you achieve that goal with less effort. So it's not trying to force an outcome, but rather staying relaxed and assume the wish fulfilled. And then the right answer will come your way and you will know what to do. So to conclude, Richard Koch says that for those who seize the day become seriously rich. Rich in wealth and health and relationships. They become rich in every aspect of their life. Because every waking moment they choose to seize the day through their actions and through the mental studio of what they choose to focus on. When they seize the day, they become the ideal now, the ideal state, the ideal person, the ideal circumstance. It is done. Creation is already done. What you want is already here. And by doing this, that is how you truly seize the day. And it is only a matter of time before what you seek manifests itself in your life in some way, shape, or form. And by cutting through the fog and embracing simplicity and focusing on what matters, you will see much more improved results and a dramatically improved life as well. I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, for watching this lecture, and I'll see you next time. Take care.